Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholz. This week I'm bringing you 3 stories from a choice collection of Muscovite folklore, and this is our 3rd story. This story is actually the one that made me decide to read from this collection of tales this week. And I really enjoyed it. It's funny, it's immensely smart, and, well, you'll see. And I do hope you enjoy it as much as I did. This is The Miser. There once was a rich merchant named Marco. A singier fellow never lived. One day he went out for a stroll. As he went along the road he saw a beggar, an old man, who sat there asking for alms. "Please to give, O ye Orthodox, for Christ's sake." Marco the Rich passed by. Just at that time there came up behind him a poor mujik, who felt sorry for the beggar and gave him a kopeck. The rich man seemed to feel ashamed, for he stopped and said to the mujik, "Hark ye, neighbor, lend me a kopeck. I want to give that poor man something, but I've no small change." The mujik gave him one, and asked when he should come for his money. "Come tomorrow," was the reply. Well, next day the poor man went to the rich man's to get his kopeck. He entered his spacious courtyard and asked, "Is Marco the Rich at home?" "Yes, what do you want?" replied Marco. "I've come for my kopeck." "Ah, brother, come again. Really, I've no change just now." The poor man made his bow and went away. "I'll come back tomorrow," he said. On the morrow he came again, but it was just the same story as before. "I haven't a single copper. If you like to change me a note for 100, no? No? Well, then come again in a fortnight." At the end of the fortnight the poor man came again, but Marco the Rich saw him from his window and said to his wife, "Hark ye, wife, I'll strip myself naked and lie down under the holy pictures. Cover me up with a cloth and sit down and cry, just as you would over a corpse. When the mujik comes for his money, tell him I died this morning." Well, the wife did everything exactly as her husband directed her. While she was sitting there, drowned in bitter tears, the mujik came into the room. "What do you want?" says she. "The money Marco the Rich owes me," answers the poor man. "Ah, mujik, Marco the Rich has wished us farewell. He's only just dead." "The kingdom of heaven be his! If you'll allow me, mistress, in return for my kopeck, I'll do him a last service. Just give his mortal remains a wash." So saying, he laid hold of a pot full of boiling water and began pouring its scalding contents over Marco the Rich. Marco, his brows knit, his legs contorted, was scarcely able to hold out. "Writhe away or not as you please," thought the poor man, "but pay me my kopeck." When he had washed the body and laid it out properly, he said, "Now then, mistress, buy a coffin and have it taken into the church. I'll go and read psalms over it." So Marco the Rich was put into a coffin and taken into the church, and the mujik began reading psalms over him. The darkness of night came on. All of a sudden a window opened and a party of robbers crept through it into the church. The mujik hid himself behind the altar. As soon as the robbers had come in, they began dividing their booty, and after everything else was shared, there remained over and above a golden saber. Each one laid hold of it for himself. No one would give up his claim to it. Out jumped the poor man, crying, "What's the good of disrupting that way? Let the saber belong to him who will cut this corpse's head off." And up jumped Marco the Rich like a madman. The robbers were frightened out of their wits, flung away their spoil, and scampered off. "Here, mujik," said Marco, "let's divide the money." They divided it equally between them. Each of the shares was a large one. "But how about the kopeck?" asked the poor man. "Ah, brother," replies Marco, "surely you can see I've got no change." And so Marco the Rich never paid the kopeck after all. And that is the story of the miser, Marco the Rich, and the lengths to which some people will go to hold on to a few pennies is, you think it's ridiculous when you listen to the story, but it really isn't, is it? This is Dan Schultz from the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Next week, we'll be back with 3 new tales. As always, thank you so much for listening.